Vincent White from Testicular Cancer Canada. Very interesting campaign in that it's something that for years I'm sure wasn't talked about. And because of that, there would be a loss of life. They have changed that, and they have, along with the Canadian Cancer Society, have gone to extremes, and I would say extremes when it comes to some of their campaigns on what men need to do to not die. So we'll talk to Vincent White from Testicular Cancer Canada. Here is a song, I believe, that promotes the fact that you need to check yourself.
You should check your nuts often, cause who knows what could happen when you start ignoring your balls. Follow steps 1, 2, and 3 just to see if there's any cancer growing down there. If there's any cancer growing down there.
Step 1.
Find a place that's warm and safe, like your bathroom after a shower. Don't do it near a plane and never on a train, and never when you're visiting the zoo. Stay away from a fire or a pokey chicken wire, cause your balls deserve a little more. At the end of the day, you're probably better off if you feel up your testicles at home. If you feel up your testicles at home.
Step 2.
A gentle touch is really quite enough to find out if anything's there. Feel around for a while, feel around for a while, feel around for a while.
Step
If you feel
3.
any lumps, any swelling, any bumps, anything that shouldn't be there, discomfort and pain can all be claimed as symptoms of testicular cancer. So go and see your doctor.
And there it is once again. Remember the old pop-up video? I miss those things. Those were pretty good.
Video.
This is one of those shows again where we obviously have a lot of fun, but we tackle some of the issues that affect our viewership, our listenership. There's a category that we fall into, which is predominantly male, even though I know we have a lot of women who watch the show and over the years have done so. But it's a huge male category when you start talking about Raw Mike Richards. And part of the reality is testicular cancer is one of those things that probably wasn't talked about a whole bunch. And I'll be honest, it wasn't until in my hometown of Stouffville, Ontario, where Keith Acton, professional hockey player, coaching at the time, we were at some event, and he leaned over and he said, this is what I got going on. And I said, well, how would you know? He said, it's like anything else. You got to check yourself. I think it's akin or equivalent to women's self-examinations. And when you're guys, you're doing it anyway. I mean, I think that's the reality of it. So Vincent White, who is in here from Testicular Cancer Canada. Vin, thanks so much for coming in today. Appreciate it.
Of course. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Boy, I'll tell you, as advertising and messages changed, there's no gray area to some of these promos that you're doing. But quite frankly, if it wasn't talked about, and years ago that it wasn't, it probably cost people lives. They probably died because they didn't know this.
That is precisely, you're absolutely right. And this is what we try to do every year when it comes to our campaign around Testicular Cancer Awareness Month, which is the month of April, is we are trying to bring down the taboos around it. Because, of course, if you're a young guy, so for the people listening, when it comes to testicular cancer, it's the most common form of cancer for young men between ages of 15 to 29.
It's that early.
It's that early.
Wow.
So
that is young. That's really young.
That's really young. And, especially at that age when you're just growing to be an adult, growing to be a man, if you've got anything that is wrong with when it comes to your testicles, your first reaction may be to not talk about it, and you're going to be shy, and you're going to maybe even feel ashamed about it. And that is the problem when it comes to testicular cancer, because that's when it can spread, right? And that's when young men can lose their lives because they don't want to. They're ashamed. They don't want to talk about it, and they don't get checked. So this is why our awareness campaigns we're trying to be disruptive and trying to bring down the taboos.
I just before we continue, I just want to talk about those campaigns. Now, as I mentioned beforehand, our good friends at Eggplant, who allow us to do this every day, like they have it's actually coming up to a year.
That's right.
They do some excellent work, and part of that was their PSA regarding this subject, testicular cancer. So the approach that they took, probably a little different than what you're used to. But I'll tell you, because of this campaign, they won like a some festival award for this, simply because instead of being shy about it, they've gone a different way, and it looks like this.
I'm Roger.
And I'm Larry.
And together,
We're your testicles.
your balls,
Your big cojones.
your family jewels.
And just like family, you should visit us more often, especially if you're between 15 and 25.
Yeah, Mr. Johnson shouldn't get all the love.
No, he's a dick.
Yeah, and we know you're on the internet looking for bubble butts
Ooh.
and BJs, but give your horn a break, okay? Cop a feel. Look for any irregularities or swelling.
Yeah, don't be shy. Give us a touch and, browse the website for more info.
It could save your life, dummy.
Yeah, let's kick cancer in the fucking nuts.
Very different approach than probably what you have seen years ago, but very effective, because the reality is, as I said, to not check or to hide. And you should, like, for myself, I'm a cancer survivor of rectal cancer, and I was on borderline of hiding stuff that had probably gone on for maybe better than a year. And when I finally was honest about it, I was borderline of maybe not being here and doing the show with Dave. So hiding, I would think, might be one of the number one problems that we've got going with this.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's that's really the issue when it comes to people that are young men that are afraid to say go get checked, have the open conversation with their doctor or with a relative. This is where it can spread, and there are numerous testimonials in our community of young men that have passed away, sadly, because they didn't talk about it for a long period of time, to a point where it was unbearable, and they finally do talk about it, and by the time they get the diagnosed, it's almost too late. So it's really about having the conversation early, and more so there are a lot of mental health issues that are attached to getting diagnosed with testicular cancer. So we really try to have a proactive approach to talking about it, and that's why these campaigns are always disruptive. So
yeah, and it's a very good one too. And just from my personal standpoint, I didn't know what I was looking for as far as, okay, is this feels weird. It literally takes, and I could tell anybody listening to this right now, if you go to a doctor will quickly put on the gloves really quick, feel around. It takes less than 20 seconds.
Is that the coughing one? You got a cough? Is that how that works?
One is the cough, and one is just the feeling between, and he's looking for what he's looking for, because I wasn't sure. And sometimes when it comes to medical stuff, it's like, doctor, you got to tell me, because I don't know what the hell I'm doing.
Yeah.
It's literally that short amount of time.
So you've done this already?
Yes, I have.
Oh,
absolutely, I
Good
have.
for you.
And it's one of those things where even he said it afterwards. It's like, more people have to do this that you're doing today. And that's why I hope that this campaign works as well as it seems to be working. And literally 20 seconds. I can hold my breath for 20 seconds. So can you. That's how long the test takes.
Absolutely. And this is why we really try to of course we take the comedic side of our campaigns,
sure.
That's why why
Well,
not?
guys,
We're talking about
guys
testicles.
kinda get it. Yeah.
It's not your ears.
No, exactly. We're talking about balls. So it's gonna be funny, but at the end of the day, you have to be aware of it, that you like, hey, you may have something wrong here, or you may be prone to testicular cancer. So just check yourself. It doesn't, like you said, it takes 20 seconds. And if you feel something abnormal, it's like right away. It's like, well, red flag.
Yep.
Talk to your doctor, and from there on, maybe he's going to refer you to a urologist,
Bingo.
and you'll take the appropriate steps. But again, it's young men between 15 to 29. It's the number one cancer, and we need to raise more awareness about it.
It is the number one cancer. You're absolutely right. My doctor also said that just because you hit 29 or 30 doesn't mean that there's no possibility of getting this.
Are we talking about Dr. G?
Yes, we are.
Bernie Gossovitz.
Exactly. Our doctor.
Yeah.
Doctor to the stars.
Yeah, he is. He is the doctor of the stars.
But it's really like, it doesn't, just because, you hit that 3-0 doesn't mean that, oh, hey,
You're off. Yeah.
I'm looking for something else now,
That's
Vincent.
right.
I'm not. No, it can't happen.
Absolutely. And tonight we have our first event, the Balls Ball. It's our flagship event here, and we're pretty excited about it.
Tell us more about that.
Yeah, it's actually happening at Movember House as of 7 p.m. tonight, and really, it's just like, it's gonna be a nice party, food, drinks, DJ, great music, and we're excited to have it with Movember as well. And there are a few people, one person in our community specifically that was diagnosed with testicular cancer, and he just told me a couple weeks ago that he got diagnosed when he was 32.
Wow, yeah.
So there you
is.
go. Like, it doesn't mean that you're like you're in the clear after 29. So it can strike at any moment, and now's the time to be talking about it and raise that extra awareness.
What is the if it's those self-examination, what is it that they're going to feel that's going to be something that is not right? What is it exactly that you're looking for?
It's a lump normally that is just a bit like harder. That you may feel that, hey, what is this hard spot essentially that is on my testicles, and you're like, what is that? That feels kind of weird.
Is there a similar size or is it different?
It can, it changes. It's not always a specific size. As it grows, as the cancer spreads, then it grows bigger,
right.
And you can literally have one testicle that is just getting, like massive, and then from there on, like it can, almost die, if you will. Yep. And this is when, that little lump can grow and take away your entire testicle. And if it gets to that, then it can spread throughout your whole body. So hence the reason to not feel ashamed, to be like, whoa, that's not normal with my body. And, I got to talk to someone about it.
Well, how do you get involved in this? Because I say this to my surgeon all the time, who it's colorectal cancer is what he's specialist, Shadi Ashamella, one of the best in North America. And I said, so why the down, like, what are you saying? What are you trying to say? Well, when you go into medical school or your options, like you say, I want to work with ass. Like, what do you do? So for you, you're a ball man? Like, why this work? What is your background? We need to know about Vincent.
Sure.
What's the background?
Okay, sure. Yeah. Well, I have I guess a PR and event planning background, and a number of years back, about 6 years ago, then I got involved with Movember, actually. I ran the Movember campaign in Quebec. And
see, I thought there was a slight accent.
Oh, it kicks in
a little bit of an accent.
Yeah,
there.
Despite the last name being White, it's
I was like, wait a minute, I think this guy might be a sneaky Habs fan.
Yeah,
he's changed his name to be on the show.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Well, it's no Hab talk right now because our team didn't really have the season, and it's all good. So I hope the Leafs have a good run. That's pretty exciting for sure. So I got involved with Movember, and from there on, testicular cancer is one of the causes that Movember supports.
Yes.
Testicular Cancer Canada was, needed some extra help with their campaign, and it's funny. I went from promoting mustaches to healthy balls, so you can't make that stuff up.
Well, look, it's important work. It's vital work, and as I said, for our audience, I mean, Dave is a great example. He's everything that sort of I've gone through. He's made sure he's followed up. He's also had himself checked that way for testicular cancer. And when you understand that how prevalent it is, and I didn't realize it was that young. I didn't realize that's
15 you're talking about a boy in high school. So it's like, man, get out there fast and attack it. It takes so little to mean so a lot, and prevent and like anything else out there, the earlier the better.
Yeah.
If you're going to attack something, get it in the first round, not the 10th.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot easier in the first.
Yeah, and that's part of our awareness program too. We have an awareness program that is targeting kids in high schools to try to send information packages to.
See, because look, that's got to be the number one age for hiding stuff.
Right.
I would think.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. In high school, absolutely. Like you got the pride factor. There's just so many things that are happening throughout your high school experience and journey. And the last thing you want to do is be like, "Hey, I got something wrong with my balls." Yeah. So
and being like guys, like I was with my issue, you think it'll go away.
Right.
It will just go away.
Yeah.
And that's a death sentence.
That's right. Absolutely. So, we more the reason that we try to make our campaigns, our messaging, pretty disruptive, to be like, whoa, that's pretty hardcore. Just like, we're doing with Let's Talk Balls and what we've done like with the COP campaign in the past too. Mm-hmm. That's really the messaging that we're trying to put out there. And, it is working really. Yep. And the survival rate of testicular cancer is very high.
Right.
It's like 97% or something.
97%.
That's
it's
fantastic.
Huge. So the progress in chemotherapy is just amazing when it comes to aggressive cells. It's doing very, very well. But again, the mental health stigma around it is massive. So like 90% of men that are going to get diagnosed are going to go through depression, anxiety, and for a number of years too. So it's that's the part we're trying to to help in changing and into lowering those numbers.
So there's an event tonight. Is there anything else going on in the month? I know we're kind of in the middle of the month right now, and also the website too, if we can get that as well.
Sure, yeah, absolutely. The website testicularcancer.ng NGO.
NGO.
It's literally one of the websites, the most complete websites in the world when it comes to information.
Yeah, I saw NGO. I'm not. What is? I'm not familiar
I
with
thought it was
that.
org originally, and then it's like, no, it's not org. It's
Right.
NGO.
NGO, yeah, that's right. It's, it's one of those nonprofit,
Oh, I see. Okay.
for
Yeah.
URLs.
Yeah.
It's our website is one of the most complete sources for statistics and awareness material in the world, really, because again, it's not one the type of cancer that is talked about a lot, that has a lot of information. So the website has we have an advisory board as well across Canada with some of the country's top urologists, so it is a great source, testicularcancer.ngo. The ball's ball tonight. Anyone listening, you're more than welcome. There's tickets at the door, no problem. Like I said, food, drinks, good times. It's at Movember House at 588 Richmond Street West.
Not too far away from here.
Yep.
Perfect. Well, thank you very much, Vincent White, or should we say, merci beaucoup, Vincent Blanc. Yeah.
Well done.
We're on to it. We get it. Thanks so much for coming in. And on the way out, we're going to play the COP campaign so you can see it. We'll come back to the other side. We'll talk, a little gambling.
A little gambling. A little preview of the weekend.
A little preview of the weekend and smack from a sport, if you want to call it a sport, that I did not see coming. So this is some work, once again, by our buddies right here at Eggplant, award winners for a PSA for Testicular Cancer Canada.
You know you have a tail light out? Let me see your driver's license. And your testicles. Oh, yeah. Okay. Make sure you get that taillight fixed.
What? Did we just become best friends?
Yup!